Sonoco Products Company was originally founded in 1899 in Hartsville, South Carolina, which was previously known as a Southern Novelty Company. The company has grown to 330 facilities that holds 21,000 employees in 32 countries. This company has grown from the acquisitions of 12 strong companies, which helped significantly expand the size as well as increase the revenue and grow the customer base of the company. Stable growth of the company also comes from their 3 patents. Sonoco prides themselves on listening to their customers and creating sustainable packaging solutions, which follows their company motto of better packing, better life. Sonoco pledges to reduce their environmental impact and run their global business on a focused climate strategy. Due to that, our first strategy is to reduce energy costs at all of their 330 locations throughout the world. Our main focus for this strategy is replacing conventional lighting with LED lighting and buying more efficient and effective equipment. The company will see a notable decrease in operating costs. Our second strategy will turn our focus to improving sales. Through our 5-year plan, we'll be conducting research to better understand the market. The research will lead us to build specialized approach to gain customer attention through an innovative product that will increase sales. Our last strategy will include a workforce reduction with a plan of reducing 3,000 employees. Sonoco generates $230,000 per employee, which is the lowest compared to all their competitors. All of their competitors also have significantly less number of employees. With the addition of new equipment, Sonoco should see an increase in the revenue per employee. The food packaging industry is a very large and competitive industry. Every company does the best it can to contribute to life-changing events all over the world. Sonoco's social impact is what sets it apart from other major food packaging companies. The green packaging market for the food packaging industry has a value of $224 billion and is only expected to grow. Plastics, specifically single-use plastics, are a major concern in terms of health of users, the environment, and its costs. The rise of strict regulations surrounding the use of plastics can be a potential detriment to the food packaging market. For larger packaging companies such as Avery Dennison and Amcor Bemis, these regulations can affect their bottom line because of the current amount of product that is internationally sold. However, countries like China, India, and Japan are taking strong initiatives to reduce or even ban importation of multiple plastics and use green alternatives. Sonoco's quick-acting environmental policy to comply with all the government-regulated requirements will enable them to grow their Ecotech paperboard sector. This new innovation is made from 100% recycled fibers and enhance the visual display of the packaging.
With over 335 operations, Sonoco is the world's largest producer of composite cans, tubes, and cores. Part of how they did this was through developing multiple patents under their company. Sonoco has 3 different patents that allow the company to have exclusive rights to different manufacturing processes. Furthermore, Sonoco produces many of its own products and processes in the packing industry. Through years of high customer satisfaction and production, Sonoco has developed a highly recognizable and respected brand name. Another one of the company's greatest strengths is stable growth. Over the company's lifespan, they have managed to grow through a series of acquisitions, 12 acquisitions specifically. In their most recent acquisition, Sonoco purchased Peninsula Packaging for $230 million. These acquisitions have allowed the company to significantly expand in size as well as increase revenue and grow customer base over the years. A significant part of the proposed 5-year strategy to improve company sales through development of new products. Doing this will allow the company to venture into new markets with more products and services that they will develop. Specifically, Africa is currently heavily lacking industrial and consumer packaging companies. There is a huge opportunity for Sonoco to use its international resources to begin developing a market in Africa for product packaging. Africa is rich in raw materials and natural resources, which will be beneficial to the Sonoco packaging and production processes. This will not only allow for Sonoco to increase its revenue and customer base, but also establish itself as a cornerstone as industrial packaging in Africa. Finally, Sonoco is capable of continuing to grow the same way that they have for the past 120 years, through acquisitions. Sonoco will most likely find success by continuing on their current path of merging and acquiring other companies to aid their expansion into new markets and the creation of new products.
Our team has developed 3 strategies to increase net profit for Sonoco. The first strategy is to focus on reducing cost. Instead of trying to reduce costs of materials, we're going to focus on reducing energy costs at their 330 locations throughout the world. There are many energy saving strategies that can reduce utilities, such as LED lights, higher efficiency equipment, and electrical strategies. Each location may have grants available, and there are energy service companies that will fund these projects, so there will be a positive cash flow from day one. Although there is a possibility that they will not be willing to fund all 330 locations, this would cause us to have to put the money up front. LED lights are significantly more expensive than any CFL and conventional light bulbs, but our investment would pay off over the long run. We also plan on purchasing high efficiency equipment. This would also cause us to put a large sum of money up front, but higher efficiency equipment would allow us to package more items in a shorter amount of time. Our machines would run significantly less, but would allow us to package the same amount of inventory. Our second strategy is to improve sales. We would do this by conducting 2 years of consumer studies and trials to see what works and what does not work. We would also spend another 2 years creating new packaging, so it would be ready for year 5. Although there are several risks with this method, we will be spending a significant amount of time conducting market research and consumer studies, which will not be cheap. This will increase costs, and we will be losing a lot of time in which we can focus on other areas. Hopefully, spending this much time conducting research will lead us to information that will notably increase. Our third idea would be to work on workforce reduction. Currently, with 21,000 employees, Sonoco generates $238,000 per employee. Amcor is at $279,000, Avery's at $240,000, Berry's at $270,000, and Sealed Air is at $313,000. Sonoco is at the bottom of the scale, and using the competitor average at $275,000 would result in a workforce reduction by 3,000 employees. We recognize the importance of employees and do not want to hurt the culture and focus on sustainability and other important tenets of Sonoco. But we want to discover why their revenue to employee ratio is off from the competition and figure out ways to improve that without hurting morals.
Over our 5-year period, we will expect to see a decrease in operating costs due to switching from conventional lighting to LED lighting. And by purchasing higher efficiency equipment, this will have a significant increase in our operating profit. The decrease in our operating costs is a result from energy cost savings. LED bulbs use 75% less energy than conventional lighting and last up to 10 times longer. During the first 2 years, we'll be conducting consumer research to get a better understanding of the market. This will cause us to see a 3% increase in operating costs in order to conduct this research. During years 3 and 4, we'll continue to see an increase of about 3% in operating costs due to conducting research on finding the most appealing packaging product. We won't see a significant increase in sales until our year 5 when we implement all of our findings. Once the strategies are implemented, we will see an increase of 13% in net sales, which is about $658 million. For our next steps, we will need to contact energy saving companies and see if they're willing to fund our transition from incandescent light bulbs to LED light bulbs at all of our locations. If they cannot provide funding for every location, then we need to set up a financial plan to come up with the money without putting ourselves in a financial hole. For our next strategy, we'll be using year 1 and year 2 to develop and conduct consumer surveys that help us better understand the market. We'll also spend this time analyzing this data and finding out the most effective way to improving our sales. Through year 3 and year 4, we'll take the data we conducted and use it to look for innovative ideas. We'll also take the time in years 3 and 4 to implement our strategy to year 5. For our final strategy, we'll be implementing the research we found in order for our employees to improve their revenue to employee ratio. Each of our competitors have less employees, and they all generate more money per employee than we do. While laying off 3,000 employees may have a negative impact on the company, the research that our team conducted shows that we will have an increase in revenue to employee ratio. Over the next 5 years, we'll be conducting research on our revenue to employee ratio to see if our strategy will go as planned.